Hi, my name is Amanda Rocha. I am an estate planning and probate attorney in California, and today we are going to talk about how to know whether someone had a will or a trust. Before I get into that, I want to give you my contact information. You can find me on my website, www.amandarocalaw.com. You can comment down below if this platform allows you to do that, or you can find me on social media at Amanda Rocha Law. So the reason we're going to discuss this today is because I recently had a conversation with someone who wanted to know whether or not she could find out if one of her grandparents had an estate plan. And I think it's important information that everyone should know. So let's just jump right in. If we're talking about estate planning, typically I mean lots of different documents. But for this video, you can find out if someone had a will by looking at the probate court's website if your court is up to date, or you have to go down to the probate court and figure that out yourself through their documents. And I'm also talking about trust in a little bit. So first, wills. When someone passes away, if they had a will and their estate was over the threshold amount, and currently that is $166,250, then the person who has a copy of the will, usually that's the personal representative named in the will, has to file that will with the probate court. The will has to be scrutinized in order for everything to be passed along and debts to be paid, all of that. That's public. Probate is public. So any document scanned in, certain things might be redacted, like personal information, social security numbers, if there was something like that, which your will should never contain that. Anyway, point being, wills are public. So you would go and check the probate court where probate would be filed for that person. So it's the county in which they lived in, and that should be where their probate case was filed. In some cases, it could be multiple places, but for the most part, that's a good place to start. Some courts have documents online, and you're probably going to have to pay for the documents. But you could probably look to see if there was at least a probate case open without paying. Otherwise, you'd need to go to the courthouse, talk to the clerk, talk about finding and locating the file and making copies of the documents. So wills are public. Trusts, on the other hand, are not public documents. So the only way that you would find out if someone had a trust, besides asking their immediate family members if you weren't one, and they can tell you whether or not they know, they do not have to tell you, is if you were a beneficiary of the trust, you will receive notice when that person's trust becomes effective and your rights are then vested. So unless you were contacted by the trustee, then you're not going to be able to find out unless you think that there was a trust that no one knew about or someone passed away. So here's what I would do. If I thought that my parent had a trust and I was a beneficiary to the trust, but I didn't have a copy of it and I didn't know of anybody who had a copy of it, I would try and contact their attorney if you knew that information. And their attorney may be able to tell you who the trustee is. And if not, they might be able to give you a little bit of information about how to get a trustee appointed. But at that point, the attorney isn't your attorney, so they don't really have to do anything for you. In fact, they still have to protect the rights of their client, regardless of whether their client is alive or not. So really, there isn't an easy place to check for a trust. Sometimes when people create trusts, if they don't have successor trustees listed who have copies, nobody knows and nothing happens with their property after they've passed away. So if you have listened to anything I've said in prior podcasts or videos, or even any of my blog posts on my website, you'll know that I always recommend that if you're creating a trust, that you give a copy to your personal representative and you alert your beneficiaries, letting them know that you have a trust and who has a copy of it. You do not have to give them a copy right away, or at all during your lifetime if you do not want to, unless they are a trustee. So if you have any questions about this or anything else estate planning or probate related, please give me a call. send me a message on my website or book a consultation directly with me on my calendar, which is on my website at www.amandarochala.com. You can comment down below if this platform allows you to do that, or you can find me through social media and send me an instant message that way. I'm at Amanda Rocha Law. Thank you.